But I take Rosie with me on the road, okay? So what I'm going to have you do, I was in Vegas with Rosie the other day, and she got a little tattoo here. So I'm going to have you hold on with this hand over there. I'm going to have you hold on to her tattoo. And then I want you to reach back and hold on to her hand with your other hand, okay? Oh, you got it there. And then you reach across the aisle. Maybe, let's see if we can get her involved here. What's your name?
Diane.
Diane's involved here. And then if you can hold on to that gentleman's hand over there, okay? And then he's going to hold on. Oh, can you get in the middle of those two? Can you hold on here? And you're going to hold on to her hand. And you're going to hold on to my hand. And I'm going to touch Rosie. Okay, now watch. If I let go, what's this? Now you hold on. What happened was, energy went through you, and through you, and through you, and through you, and through you over here, and back to Rosie, and look how fast it was. Even when I just tapped her hand, and she was rapping, you know, hear her rap. That's how fast homeopathy has gone through every one of you and reached those hundreds of trillions of cells in your body and already started the balancing process.
Would it work if any one of us let go of the hand?
Oh yeah, then you would break the circuit and she would stop. You had to have the circuit. You want to try it? Sure, yeah. I play with her all night. Okay, so I don't. All right, let go of something. Let go of him. Okay, touch. See? Yeah, see? Your hair's a mess. And, I don't. Anyway, so you got to understand that this. What are you saying here? There isn't now. Seriously, this. You know, energy travels through us. We are energy. And our nervous systems, you know, if you were going to tell your foot to pick up, it's an instant thing that goes through the nervous system. It's an impulse. It says, okay, we're going to pick up, or we're going to close our hand, or we're going to speak. That's how fast homeopathy follows that same nervous system, the wires in our body, and every one of those cells is attached to that. That energy reaches them. So I'm telling you that if you hear these people, I want a pill to fix this now. They don't want to do anything else with it. Like they want a pill. Homeopathy actually can get you that way. If you were to take that Candida formula, it actually will work within the first 24 to 36 hours where you wouldn't crave sugars. You wouldn't have those things going on because we're going to start correcting that imbalance of Candida so the body isn't screaming for that need to have sugar or carbs. So then you could actually, over a couple days, get to the point where, wow, I can cut those out. Now I can think more clearly. I can eat better. And you're more aware. Otherwise, you're like a zombie. It's telling you stuff and you're doing things that you don't really want to do. But then you feel bad and you start having these guilt things going on. And we've all been there, you know. Me spraying here, I usually spray before I eat at a restaurant so I won't want the bread. So I won't want the things I shouldn't order. I even do it before I look at the menu so I make better decisions. Because we all have the french fries, sure. You know, it's easy to do. Or I'll pull into the fast food place instead of a place where I know I can get a good salad. We all do that. And I'm just trying to help you be aware of what you can do. And then if we fix the upper and lower GI, if it's out of balance, when you take the other supplements out here, for whatever purposes, you know, and you saw what I took this morning, it was a big handful. You said, that's your breakfast, right? Well, I was eating some food too. It's going to go into my system better, you know. And I'm 63, and I want to live a long time, and I work 17, 18-hour days. I'm out on the road. It's a rough life, but I have tons of energy because I try to keep myself balanced. And I use products like our jet lag formula or whatever, because I'm from the West Coast one day and the East Coast the next day and in Canada or whatever. I take Rosie for balance as well, you know, so, you know, everybody has their thing, right? But we also, I don't know if any of you have ever seen any of these books by Dr. Moto. He wrote like 5 books about water. Water, someone said water is the staff of life here. It's everything in our lives. That's where life started at. You know, that's how we first got the first few cells and whatever, you know. We have a higher power, of course, but when Dr. Moto did studies on water, he found that if you put negative energy towards a beaker of water, You could either say some negative things to it, or you could put the word hate on that beaker. You could do negative energy. You took a drop of that water, you froze it, and you put it under a microscope. And I'll show you one here. And he were to look at it under a microscope, it may be distorted or ugly looking, okay? But if you were to take that same water and put positive reinforcement in it, maybe wrote the word love or some other positive reinforcement on there and were to freeze it, you get something more like a crystal or a snowflake. We know water holds energy because we make homeopathy in that water. Some people put alcohol in their preservative, or they'll spray it on those pellets, or they'll put glycerin or whatever. We don't do that because we think the purity of the water is the most important thing we need to work with. We don't use preservatives either. But we bring water into our plant, and we clean it up 10 times cleaner than distilled on a molecular level. And then we use Dr. Emoto's technology, and it's a combination of proprietary things, but one of the portions of it is 38,000 very powerful magnetic gauze cone filters. We run it through that because if you remember old VCRs, you had a VCR, right? You had that tape, and if you recorded 2 or 3 movies on there, after a while it couldn't hold any more of that, and it would kind of lose its ability to throw that one away. But you could take a powerful magnet and actually erase all of that memory on there and start fresh. Well, we use those to take all that negative energy, or even positive. We don't know what's in there. It may have been on the ocean floor when the Titanic sunk. But we want to get it, clean. And even our people then that come to work, we make every ingredient by hand. We actually take, when we're going to do the succussions out there, we do everything under a 10x, which is that 1 drop of 9. We do it 10 times. There's still some of the original stuff in there because that's for acute. We do every ingredient under 30x, which is 1 drop of 9 30 times, and there's nothing left in that because it's gone past that 24x, so it's more for chronic. And we also put 1 drop in 49,999 drops, succuss it, and we do that 50,000 times for what we call our LM potency for every ingredient. And that is for deep healing and emotional work. So we got a guy back there that's doing that 50,000 times, and then he starts with a new batch. And we're making them in 5 and 10 gallon batches, and it's a lot of work. That same guy, when he comes to work in the morning, because we don't want negative energy around our water, is with a bunch of other people. They strip down, they put on these space suits, they scrubbed in and all that, and they go in the lab. But before they can go in the lab, we do a yoga exercise, and we do this transparency thing where, let's say you have a little trouble with traffic in the morning coming to work, or you had a fight with a hubby or the kids. You might be in a negative space. We don't want you in there with our water. We want happy people, right? I don't want to reproduce that traffic accident in here. So they tell us, no, this morning is not a good time for me to be in there. So they might be in shipping or receiving. And it's okay. It's not a penalty thing. But by the time they've been drinking our water all morning, maybe that afternoon they're back in the lab. But we got a lot of people that we filter through there because it's a lot of work and you kind of rotate everybody. That's how much we take care of the water before it even becomes medicine. And that's why so many companies come to us and have us make their products for them, because they know that we take those extra steps and pay that extra labor, and it's a labor of love really out there in the true sense. So I just want you to explain that to you. And so when you see 6C out there, C's are 100, you would put 1 drop in 99, and then succuss it. That's a C dilution, and then you could do that 6 times or 30 times or 100 times, and then that's how you make homeopathy. Or the LMs, which is the 50,000, or the X's, which are the 10s. But it's in the dilutions that we create the energy, and that's what you have to understand. And energy is what we're all about. Okay? We make a lot of products like that HGH, and we make things for allergies. We actually make an allergy formula for this part of the country because guess what? Your plants, your molds, your spores, your trees, especially in Florida, are different than the guy in, up in Washington State or out in California. You see, you're in the green zone. So we've gone out and picked every one of those little allergens, weeds and everything, and put them into a homeopathic solution just for the Southeast. We do a Midwest, we do a Rocky Mountain, we do one is for Texas is a zone all by itself. Yes. They got mountain cedar, they got a lot of stuff down there that's really bad.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah, that's another allergen. People don't realize that. Then you got the West Coast, the Pacific, and they have ice plant and all kinds of things that you wouldn't even see out here growing. They couldn't grow. So, we kind of put ourselves out there in different ways, different kinds of products. And this isn't to sell your products, so you understand how homeopathy can help you in your life. And homeopathy is going to go on for hundreds and hundreds more years. We just aren't like those drugs. So once they come on the market, the clock is ticking. Within 3 to 10 years, that product is going to be pulled off the market for its side effects. And we have never been pulled off the market and continue to grow because we don't have that. So you can buy the drug, or you can come and see us, which is still a registered drug. And of course, you got this huge pharmacy out here of natural stuff. What kind of questions do you have for me today? Anybody have anything they'd like to talk about? Want to be muscle tested on? We can even go out there to the rack and do that.
On that allergy remedy,
Yeah.
You have to take it all the time, or you can take it just...
Okay, so that's a good question. All right.
It's like the ghost stuff work right away?
All right, so sometimes our bodies are in overload because of chemicals and environmental things, and then the allergy season comes along and it throws you over the edge, You can take something like this, if you're in a critical situation, every pollen out there is going and you're sneezing and you've got the red eyes and you've got all the symptoms of allergies, right? And you may take it every 10 minutes for a couple hours, and all of a sudden you say, I'm free, clear of that. The next day you go out, you may have to take it once or twice. Your body, remember we used the word cure? Your body will actually start correcting itself and not reacting to those pollens anymore. So what I did, I have 17 acres where I live, and I have poison ivy in and out of all the trees in the forest. And my dogs are out there running around in it, so they come home, I'm petting their fur, and guess what? It's got that oil on there. And I also like to go out there and I, do our gardening, and I do things in the forest out there, walk around, not weird things in the forest. I actually walk around, enjoy my land, okay? I used to get poison ivy so bad I actually had to be hospitalized at one point. And so I take the poison ivy formula in January, February, March. I can walk around it all summer long. It actually makes me immune to it. I didn't take it this year, thinking, well, I've been taking it for several years now. I haven't gotten it, and I worked out it the other day. I was clearing a path. I knew it was all around me. I said, well, if it happens, I can always take the remedy, right? Didn't get it. I think my body has gotten over that. Other chemicals may be also an influence on you because of the atmosphere and whatever, or foods, but we're going to calm your system down to where it's probably going to work. Okay? That help you?
Yeah, I was taking raw local honey, and it was working great. But right now I can't get any.
It's very hard because the bees in this country have been depleted, and I own a health food store, and the guy who does our local honey in Georgia said he's going to have a batch by Friday. But he says, I can't make enough for the whole summer probably, and so, you won't have any this winter. I'll get you as much as I can, But that's the same homeopathic way. Those bees go out there and get all those different pollens, and it's part of that honey, so you're actually homeopathically taking those pollens.
It's not even really local, within 20 miles of where you live.
Well, but we can also do a region, because homeopathy is a little bit stronger force than just the honey itself. So, you got a product for that. It's kind of cool. But you're right. Okay? Anybody else got a question? Yes?
Is that, what if you don't, like, poison ivy never seem to affect me? What if that, some people immune to it? I never got poison ivy.
Well, your body just doesn't react to it.
Yeah.
Mine does.
What does that mean?
You're a unique chemistry, and I'm a unique chemistry, and you're a unique chemistry, and you are unique. We're all different. That's why I'm not going to ever go. A doctor says we're all the same. You're supposed to take, if your blood pressure is over 150 or whatever, we're supposed to all take the same pill. I don't believe that. I believe that there's genetics involved in everything. Some people run at a higher level than I do, and I think that's okay. I think you should know your own genetics.
That was my next question, was blood pressure. I was working with the nutritionist here, my blood pressure to get off the medicine that I was on. So about a year I was taking from Tunis, magnesium, all these different things, and I've been okay until a few weeks ago, and I almost had to go, I went to the emergency room, it was like 210.
So what's